What's going on, guys? I just wanted to come back and give you guys a little bit of bonus content. I was watching wrestling earlier tonight and was thinking about, um, you know, my favorite um, job guy of all time. And before I explain to you a little bit about him and a little bit about what jobbing is in the wrestling business, I am going to say this. Um, After the um, August Blu-ray blowout, which should be posted sometime later um, on Saturday or early Sunday morning, I am going to stop with the content for a little bit to give you guys a break. The reason you guys have seen so much content in the last 2 days is because, well, it's been a while since I've had 3 days off to be able to do all of this and to be able to hit all the things that I wanted to hit. Um, so, I'm kind of taking advantage of it while I have it because Lord only knows when I'm going to have it again. So, sorry for blowing you guys up and, you can just bear with me through this one plus one more. I promise I'll give you guys like a week or two off from having to hear anything from me unless anything major happens. Now, if something major happens, all bets are off. But unless anything major happens, you guys ain't gonna hear from me for like a week or two. So, if you get through this and tomorrow, you're good. You're all saintly people. I love you for supporting me. I thank you for, watching these and trying to make sense out of my rambling. But, I couldn't do it without you guys. So, but with that out of the way, um, all I wanted to say before I got started into the meat and potatoes of this, that if you're not really into wrestling and you don't really dig the wrestling content that comes out from these, um, you can skip those with um, no blowback. I'm not gonna hold it against you. Secretly, I will admit that I hope nobody skips these because I feel like you can get a little something about me deep down inside from everything I put out. So I genuinely, secretly hope that nobody skips these, but I realize that there are going to be people that do because wrestling's not everybody's thing. Not everybody can be into it like I am. Not everybody was broken into it like I was and taught to love it the way that I was. So I understand it. Um, so if you guys want to skip these, that's fine. No hard feelings, no ill will. Um, I try not to do too many of these because I know that not everybody likes wrestling. So um, if you want to skip the ones that I do occasionally on wrestling, that's fine. Um, I'll see you guys on the blowouts and things like that. So um, just a little call out there as well. I was thinking about that earlier. Now for the meat and potatoes of this thing, and we're 4 minutes in already. This is gonna be a long one. Um, okay. This all comes back to, and you'll notice in my wrestling posts, everything always kind of ties back to my sainted grandmother. Because my grandmother taught me the business. She taught me to love it. She taught me to respect it. She taught me ins and outs based on what she had seen on TV and what she has watched since she was a little kid. She taught me when I was 8 years. She started teaching me when I was 8 years old. I was still learning things from her about the wrestling business when she died at 80. Okay, so I never asked her though how long she had been watching because it never freaking occurred to me. But based on some of the tapes I left her house with on some nights, I'd say she'd been watching for a really long time. But she always taught me to respect everybody that's ever in the business, respect everybody that comes while you're a fan, respect everybody that came before you were a fan, and know the business that you love. So, I studied, and Becky will say this, I studied everything I can get my hands on. And my grandmother used to tell me, one of the first lessons she taught me was, everybody in a wrestling match or a wrestling arena has a job to do, whether it be the announcers that are calling stuff on TV, whether it be the ring announcer that's making the introductions and announcing winners, whether it be the referee who's making 3 counts, checking for submissions or just calling disqualifications, whether it be, the wrestlers in the ring telling the story physically and using psychology, and whether it be, the guys that have to put, the stars over to make them stars. Everybody has a job to do. So my grandmother taught me, you respect everybody because everybody in this business has a job to do to make sure that you are entertained. So with that said, I am going to start by telling you guys what exactly a jobber is. A jobber is a guy or girl that doesn't ever win, or in some cases very rarely will pick up a win, and usually when they do win, it is a fluke win. It is a fluke win to further a storyline with the guy that was supposed to go over but ended up not going over because of the fluke. And the guy that caused the fluke to happen. So it was to further another storyline. These guys know how to take ass whippings like nobody I've ever seen. These guys can sell their asses off, take big ass bumps, and make stars look like bigger stars, and make guys that you're trying to elevate that aren't really at star level yet, jobbers will get them there. At least in the 80s when they were, when jobbing was prevalent, they used jobbers to, get stars over and make them into, monsters and killers and, all this good stuff. And, funnily enough, some of the big stars today started out as jobbers on, WCW and WWE TV, for God's sakes. I mean, Nick Foley was a jobber on WWE TV in the 80s. Edge was a jobber on WCW TV in, early 96, I think. The Hardy Boys were jobbers on WWE TV in the late 80s, early 90s. AJ Styles did jobs on WWE TV. He's wrestling in Japan with Ring of Honor right now. So it's been any number of stars that have, started out as jobbers have gone on to become stars, but, they started as jobbers. So, basically that's what it is. It's basically a guy that'll come in, get his ass kicked, get the monster over, get the star over, and, that's what their job is. Now, there have been some pretty good jobbers along the way. Guys like Barry Horowitz from WWE, Barry O, also from WWE, Doc Dean, Robbie Brookside from WCW, 2 British guys that could job their asses off. Barry Houston from WCW was the guy that I remember. Bob Cook and Bobby Starr, 2 guys from WCW that did jobs that I remember I followed both of those guys on Facebook. Hearing the stories from those guys from back in the day is just awesome. Um, and then there's, my favorite jobber probably of all time, and I realize there's some of you that are gonna say, dude, of all the jobbers you could have picked, you picked him, and I'll explain why I'm picking this man in a minute, but I just want to tell you, my favorite jobber of all time is a guy that was called Jumpin' Joey Max. He was, a kid, had a good look, um, could work, could really could work and sell well. He was one of those guys that, you know, he worked his ass off to get the monsters over, and it worked. And he had been around for so long, it turned out cool for me because he was one of those jobbers that he would get an occasional win, and it's like it wouldn't be a fluke win, because he was always, he always had fire, and the little bit of offense that he would get in when he lost was very, very, well timed and well placed and well done. So, occasionally, on rare occasions, it was probably, I only saw him win 4 or 5 matches maybe, um, on TV, and I watched his career for, see, the first time I saw Joey Mags was in 91, and the last time I saw him was like 98. So I watched his career for like 7 years, and I saw him win 5 matches in 7 years, but it was cool because, um, he he didn't win so much that you didn't think that, when he won it wasn't cool. I always thought it was cool that he was one of those guys that would occasionally, get a win, and it wasn't a fluke win. They would actually give him clean wins over lower card guys. They wouldn't give him wins over stars, but, you'd give him wins over your lower card guys. But, and at one point, they gave him a manager, Teddy Long, and, they kind of gave him a little bit of a push with, they had him in a couple tag teams I thought might go somewhere. Him and Bobby, I thought that might go somewhere. Him and Craig Pittman, I thought that might have went somewhere, but, it didn't. But, I always thought he had that it factor that you need to be a star. Something just about him made me just gravitate to him. And I realized that not everybody in the business can be the star. Somebody's got to be the fall guy, somebody's got to be the jobber, somebody's got to be the enhancement talent. And Joey was good at that. But I always kind of held out hope that, they'd see the guy's talent as more than just a jobber, and they, give him more than just the occasional win. But they never did, and that's fine. And he was cool with it because he was getting paid, because he did jobs on WWE TV as well, so he was getting paid from both companies. I heard one time he did an interview, and he said, I would have liked to have gotten a, bigger push than I got, and I thought when they put me with Teddy Long that they were gonna, do that, but, that wasn't my spot, so, I just did what I was told, and, got the guys over, and, he was like me, everybody's got a job to do, that was mine, so, and if you ever get a chance to kind of look on YouTube and look for some of his matches, just to see how good this dude was at selling the shit that he was, he could sell like they were kicking the crap out of him, but, but he wasn't actually, if you knew what I know now, he wasn't actually being hurt. Yes, it was stiff, but it was believable stiff. But he wasn't actually being physically hurt. So yeah, that's a little bit about my favorite jobber. Name's Jumpin' Joey Mags. He died in 2006 at 37. I think it was a suicide, which is really sad. Um, but I kind of understand, when WCW went under, you know, you kind of saw a lot of deaths around the 2001, from 2001 to 2006, you saw a lot of death in the wrestling business, and a lot of those were WCW guys that, that couldn't find work, and if you don't find work and you can't really find work anyplace else, and all you ever done in your life is wrestle, what are you gonna do? So I understand it, even though it's sad, and I miss him, and I wish he was still around, because I think he could teach kids today. I think he had a lot to teach. But I still have his matches to look on. I still have, the memories in here. I still have, the network to, none of his matches are on the network as of now, but I still have YouTube to, look up his old matches and, watch him get the crap kicked out of him. And if I want to look up his wins, I know the 5 matches to look up that he actually wins. So if I want to smile for a little bit and, go back to being 16-year-old Mikey, watching WCW, seeing him get a win and just, mark the fuck out, I look those up, but really, any Joey Mags match that I can find, I'll watch and I'll smile because he knew what his job was and he did not have a problem doing that job. Because everybody has a job to do. Respect everybody's job. He respected his, I respected his, and you should respect his too. Because if it wasn't for guys like Joey Mags, guys like Triple H, guys like Undertaker in his early career, big stars like that wouldn't get over near as well as they did. So anyway, that's a little bit about Joey Mags. I'm probably going to post some matches, a match or two of his along with this video, so you guys can kind of see some of his work. And I'll tell you now, it'll probably be 1 win, 1 loss, because I want to give him credit for, I want you guys to see him actually win a match, and I want to show you how good he was at selling things when he was booked to lose. And, thing is, if he was booked to win or lose, didn't matter. He sold the same way every time. So, anyway, thanks for listening. It's been 20 minutes, and, yeah, I need to stop because I'm losing my voice. I need to take a drink. So, I'm going to stop this and let the video get uploaded, and I will also, like I said, add some other, probably 1 win, 1 loss of Joey's matches, so you guys can kind of check those out. And rest in peace, Joey Mags. I miss you. I love your work. Wish I could have met you. I respect what you did. You put your body on the line to get guys over, to entertain me. And for that, you have my eternal gratitude, man. R.I.P., brother.